Lowe's, and I did curbside. So hopefully they'll bring it out shortly, and I can get home and get it cut down in size before it gets dark. So those are my boards. They look kind of small, but I think it'll do the trick. I have been really thinking about building me a under the bed trundle. One, because I'm a very organized person, and you know, I think that we all tend to not take advantage of space. So I just want to say that I'm going to try to measure the board using the measuring tape. In the past, when I've done that, it may or may not have been off by a little bit. So I've learned to, I guess, cope or, I don't know, make up for the mishap by actually measuring the board against itself. So I'm going to measure both ways, but I did that as a backup just in case I'm off. So we'll see. Alright, so it's a little skewed. It's a little skewed. So this line is correct, but this line should be more about there. These I added because I'm going to cut the boards at the same time. That ensures that the cut is the same. Even if it's off, it'll be the same on both sides. Maybe not the greatest idea, but hey. Alright, so I went outside and cut these boards. The first board came out pretty good and for the most part pretty straight. However, this board is on the bottom. Look, got a little bit of a chip. Now I can glue that back in, but it may not be that big of a deal. Might be actually hidden, but we'll see. Perfect. It's about 1/4 of an inch too big, but not so. Maybe it's because that piece is missing. A little wide. A little wide, but I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to risk cutting too much off if I try to recut it. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go with it. Well, guess what? I did not drill. I did not drill the holes. So let me do that before it sticks. All right, big mistake that was made. These holes right here, they were drilled into these sides. But they're for an inside plate. So now what I gotta figure out is how would I use these. I think what I gotta do is drill holes in these boards and not these boards. So I may have to cut this down for a centerpiece somehow. You always make a mistake. Well, I should say I always make a mistake. All right, well, let's see if I can correct this mistake. Let me get my glasses so I can go to work. right, so I am on the tail end of completing this under the bed trundle, and I made a bunch of mistakes, so let me walk you guys through. First mistake I made, I didn't film putting all of this in, but probably because I made a bunch of mistakes. The first mistake I made, I realized that I wasn't drilling my holes in a proper place to make sure that it held the board that it needed to hold. So if you notice, I don't have any holes here, but I have holes here on this side. And I think I got a little confused, a little turned around, and so I ended up turning the board around. So the holes for this board is actually not on the inside. So this board right here does not have any holes in it at all. They're actually on the inside of the bin, and I'll show you again when I turn it upside down. So when I ended up doing the other side, I didn't have any holes. I don't have any holes on the outside, but I couldn't figure out how to get the board on, and so that's why there's holes on the outside here and none on the outside here. So I've got to remember that when I put this together, and I have to remember where the holes go, and I need to make sure that I am putting the same holes on both sides. Now this is a little off because I just made all kinds of mistakes. This, I wasn't sure about the design on the inside, and once I made the mistake with this board, I ended up, not this board, once I made the mistake with this side, I used the last board that I had that was supposed to go here, and I created another face board because I figured it was probably more important to have a nice outer board than to be terribly concerned about the center, because it's going to hold a lot of stuff, and let's face it, who's really going to be looking at, you know, I don't know. So this here, eventually I'll sand this down so that this is flush. I just messed this all up. I wasn't sure about having a pocket here, and actually it was getting dark outside, and instead of spending a lot of time trying to line everything up, I tried to cut it freehand, and that's what I got. So I'm gonna have to fill this in with some wood filler and probably sand that too in the summer. But for now, I'm not terribly worried about it. Let's see what other mistakes I made. So, you know, so here, I wasn't sure how I was going to design the inside, and at the last minute decided to put this piece here. So I've got to fill all of this in and sand that down so that it's flush. So a lot of mistakes on this one. I typically make a lot of mistakes anyway, but that's where we are. I've never used these dowels before, but I figure this would be a good time to kind of test it out. So I'm going to put some here, as this is on the outside and there's none there on that side, and I'm going to try to fill them in where I made the mistakes, and I don't have equal dials. I mean, I don't have flush boards, so I'm probably going to put 2 here, but I'll leave these 4 and those 4, but I'll put the 2 there because, or maybe I will, and see, and I wasn't strong enough to get that board pushed out, so I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of a solution for that. But anyway, a lot of mistakes. This is the bottom. You won't see. It'll be on wheels. But nevertheless, I think when you are creating furniture or anything like this, you should try to get it as perfect as you can, because you want it to last. You want it to be sturdy. You don't want it to just be thrown together, and I'm not going to just throw nails and screws in it. I'm hoping to actually stain it, and so, you know, when it gets warmer outside, I'll sand it down and fix it so that it's presentable. The good thing about working with wood is there's always wood filler. It's always wood glue. So now what I typically do is whenever I cut wood, I always save some of the shavings, because this is what I use to make me a little bit of wood filler. Now I could have put this in place of the dials, but I wanted to see what using the dials